what do you do when you find long forgotten cranberries in your freezer? There's only one good answer for that, and that's, of course, muffins. This was supposed to be kind of a cook-along with the mucky crew, but since mucky cooking doesn't sound particularly appealing, it's going to be just me, the mucky's human. So, for the best Quark cranberry muffins in your life, here's what you're going to need. 200 grams plain flour, total of 220 grams of sugar, some baking powder, 2 eggs, vanilla extract, 75 ml of oil, 180 grams of cranberries, 100 gram quark, and some lovely cider. Oh wait, that's not for muffins, that's for me. To start off, we need to drop our cranberries in a pot. Ideally, you'd like fresh ones. Frozen should be defrosted first, but I find that they leak too much juice that way, and that's why I'm using them frozen. To that, we add 25 grams of sugar, and put that on the stove onto a low heat, stirring from time to time till cranberries start to pop. And that's our cranberries done. They don't take long, just enough to start popping and breaking the skin. Leave them aside to cool down for a bit. Next, we're going to prep our quark. You can basically use any kind of white fresh cheese, meaning ricotta, mascarpone and such, but bear in mind that high fat cheeses will melt and kind of soak into muffins in the oven, so we want some dry mass in there as well. So it's quark. We add the second portion of 25 grams of sugar to that. We press it all together till the sugar and quark mix, and try not to make a lot of mess while doing that, okay? That might be a good idea. And there you go, nice, smoothish, sweetened quark. Let's put it aside for a moment. The general rule for muffin making is mix dry ingredients together, the wet ingredients in the separate bowl, and then combine them. So we got our flour, 170 grams sugar, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You could probably use self-raising flour if you get access to that, but don't ask me for the ratios, okay? Cool. So 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Let's mix it up a bit. One thing we nearly forgot was a pinch of salt. That's always necessary in your baking. Now for our wet ingredients. The eggs should be just slightly broken up. We don't want to whisk them into any kind of fluffiness. Just enough to break the structure, okay? So there's that. We got our eggs. Try to choose the large ones because muffins do need the moisture. So next go in 75 ml of oil. The original recipe calls for sunflower oil, as it's the most neutral in flavor, but pretty much any kind of cooking oil besides olive oil will do. And some lovely homemade vanilla extract. I'm adding 2 teaspoons because it's not a particularly strong one, but if you got nice strong one, go with just one of those. We grab ourselves some lovely mixing utensil and combine wet ingredients with dry ones, remembering that muffins are a pretty lazy pastry and don't want to be overworked. So we just mix the wet ingredients till they combine. Add the dry ingredients in and do the same. Mix just till they combine. If you beat it up too much, if you overwork the dough, the muffins either will rise as crazy and then fall flat on you, or they will be gluggy and doughy and whatnot. This is looking way too dry at the moment. I'll add my cranberries now, and if it will still be too thick, I'm going to add some milk to thin it out. So cranberries with all the lovely juice they released, and just mix it up. If they break too much and color the dough, don't worry, it will still taste bloody delicious. So there you go, it's all combined. Pretty nice loose dough. And as I said, don't overwork it. There's nothing worse than overworked muffin dough. Since we've got our dough and the quark, let's put it into a tray. So get your muffin tray. You might line it up with the paper thingies because due to sugar content and the fruits, they like to stick to the pan. And just fill them in, not all the way up. You want to go for like 2/3. I know I said 2/3 height, ended up filling them pretty much all the way to the top, but this way is easier for me than just popping some extra muffin tins into the oven. So now for the quark, you want to take about a teaspoon of it, put it on top of the muffin, push it a bit inside, lest it falls off when the muffin rises, and just top all your muffins some nice sugary cheesy goodness. And that's pretty much it. Our muffins are ready to go into the oven, preheated to some 170 degrees Celsius. What's left for us after we do that is set the timer to some 25, maybe 30 minutes, crack open the cider and just wait for the muffins to come out. And there you have it, the beautiful, wonderful Quark and Cranberry muffins. All that's left to do is to put them out on the cooling rack and let them cool down properly before eating. You may want to sprinkle some icing sugar on them for better looks, but as taste goes, they don't need it. They're absolutely lovely the way they are now. Sweet dough, sweet Quark, and some nice cranberry tartness. So there you have it. Quark and cranberry muffins cooked with the Mucky Human. See ya!